welcome back. How are we all doing for Palace? Palace in the Europa Conference League. We've just watched I wasted 2 hours of my life watching Forest against Sturm Graz in Austria. It was a dreadful game. Forest were terrible. They probably, to be fair, they get a point. It's probably not dreadful. They get a point. They get an away clean sheet. I'm sure that Sean Dyche will be able to twist that into some positive and good luck to him. But it was a dreadful performance. I think you've got to be going there and you've got to be winning, haven't you? To be honest, I think you've got to be winning that one for Forest, and they were crap. They missed a penalty as well. But now on to Palace, Crystal Palace, who have got big aspirations of winning the Conference League, going one better than United and Spurs managed last year in Europe, and equaling the feat that Chelsea managed last year and winning the Conference League and getting back into Europe for next year. Can Oliver Glasner's men do it? Last time out they lost against AEK Larnaca here, which is a very disappointing performance, and now they play AZ Alkmaar, who are not going to be an easy side for him, I'll be honest. Shell Key's favourite team. Sorry, I can see all the comments coming in on TikTok. I'm not ignoring you, I promise. I'm just dealing with Shell giving me stick on YouTube. Right. Where are we? I'll tell you the lineup shortly. Daniel Munoz just walking out with the Palace players here. Let's see. Here we go. Conference League, Palace, Alkmaar. A first ever European home win. Can Crystal Palace get it? It's a considerable obstacle here with AZ Alkmaar in town. Albeit Alkmaar have also got the same record as Palace in Europe. They've won one, lost one. So Alkmaar played really well against Slovan Bratislava last time out, but they also lost 4-0 against AEK Larnaca, the team that also beat Palace. So both of these teams have got maybe an allergy to AEK Larnaca. But it's a good game, this one tonight. Some very, very talented players in this AZ Alkmaar side. We'll go through the teams now. So for Palace it is Henderson in goal. It's Richards, Lacroix, Gay at the back, Munoz at the right, Mitchell on the left, Hughes, Lerma in midfield, and then Sarr, Mateta, Pino front three. It's a very, very strong Crystal Palace side, isn't it? It's probably about as strong as they can get without Adam Wharton being in there. Adam Wharton is on the bench, but he's only fit enough for a place on the bench with Daichi Kamada, Uche, Sosa, Esse, Devaney, Klein, Canvo, and the two goalkeepers, Benitez and Matthews. For AZ Alkmaar, it is Owusu Adoro in goal, a young, very bright, promising keeper, Owusu Adoro. Chavez, Penetra, Goes, and Dijkstra at the back. In midfield, Koopmeiners, Pia Koopmeiners, not Teun Koopmeiners, who you might know from his time at Juventus, but Pia Koopmeiners, his brother. He is a very, very talented midfielder too, but he's in midfield alongside Mynens. And my favourite player in the whole of the Eredivisie, Kees Smit. Not just because of his first name, but Kees Smit, an unbelievable player. A proper, reminds me a lot of Kevin De Bruyne. Not just in terms of how he looks, but how he plays as well. He's got a lot of guile on the ball. Really, really good one to watch tonight. Keep an eye out for him. Young, ginger midfield player in the midfield for AZ Alkmaar. He plays kind of just off the front three, to be fair. So he'll get forward quite a lot. On the right is Wesley Patati, another young Brazilian winger for AZ Alkmaar. There's Troy Parrott up front, who you might remember from his time at Spurs and Millwall and Preston as well. And then Ibrahim Sadiq on the left-hand side, who has started quite brightly to his AZ Alkmaar career. He got 11 goals in 21 last year. He got 5 in 16 the year before. 5 in 16 the year before, 11 in 21 the year after. Doesn't really get fit all that often, I guess, Ibrahim Sadiq, but when he does play, he does tend to do quite well. But Wesley Patati, Kees Smit, Troy Parrott, Owusu Adoro. This is an AZ Alkmaar side packed with youth quality. They're a side that you could look at. You could honestly have a look at. This is an Alkmaar side. Sign most of them on FIFA, and they'll all get to the late 80s. Keys Smith in particular. James Productions, big up to you, Key. Hope you have a good stream. Good to see you, mate. And yeah, welcome to the channel. Very, very nice to have you on the stream. Will Forever, 6 arrests already made by the police. I'm not surprised. And T, get ready for another boring 2 hours. Ian, can LFC beat Man City this weekend? Yes, mate. Yeah, you've asked me about 14 times, Ian. And every time I've said yes. I've not changed since the last 3 times you asked me. Blake, has OG gone 4-3-3? I think he has, yeah. It looks like he's gone quite strong, hasn't he? Under the Floodlights, Rangers Roma prediction. I think Roma win that one quite comfortably. Yeah, I think I'd go Roma, maybe 2-0. 2-0. Gasparini will do a job on Rangers tonight, I think. SL, where's the Palace fan today? He can't be missing this watch-along. He's not. Jordan has been in all night. He's been watching the Forest game with us, but I imagine he's off actually watching the game, maybe with his family, with his friends, I don't know. But he has been in and out the stream tonight, so I'm sure we'll see Jordan, our Palace fan, many, many more times throughout tonight, maybe. Especially if Palace get beat. Right. Let me start the match timer, because we're off and underway at Selhurst Park. This has got the shapings of a better game. I've got to say, I've got a bit more hope for this one than I did for the Forest and Sturm Graz game. That always felt like a little bit of a cagey one, given that it's Sean Dyche managing him. Will Forever, guest Dybala is injured. He's not starting or on the bench for Roma. And Jake, have you seen Real Madrid don't want Canate anymore? I'm really sad about that. I hate Canate. He's terrible. I can't agree with that. Canate is the best centre-back in the world for me after Van Dijk. I don't swap Canate for any other centre-back, so... To each their own, mate. We all have our views and our opinions, but I couldn't disagree with you more strongly on that one. Timbo, Canate isn't as terrible or as amazing as some Liverpool fans claim. He's somewhere in the middle. I would also disagree strongly with that. I think he's incredible. He's had a wobble at the start of this season, and people have very short memories. But for years and years, this guy has been unbelievable. The biggest criticism of Canate has been his fitness. Has been, can he stay fit long enough? Because that's the only thing they've really got against him. When he's fit, he's unbelievable. Oh, AZ Alkmaar, great run. Oh, Palace just about get it away. Fast start, though. Very fast start. Blake, Thursday's a special. The round of football across Europe kicking off at the same time. Love it. 5:45 and 8 o'clock. Thursdays, Wednesdays, Tuesdays. I love it. And that's where, personally... Listen, I'm gonna big up the channel. I'd very, very rarely do anything that's kind of... Not arrogant, but I am very proud. I am very proud that we watch a lot of football on this channel. We watch more than any other watch-along channel. Far more than any other football watch-along. I do more watch-alongs than anyone else. And Tuesdays, Wednesdays, Thursdays, we watch loads and loads of varied football. You can't beat it. You cannot beat it. If you love watching games of football, this is the channel for you. If your missus tells you off like mine does, not tells you off, but says like, what are you watching? What are you watching Palace against AZ Alkmaar for? What are you watching Norwich against Doncaster for? You're a Liverpool fan. Strike! Oh, Keys Smith! I told you, first shot on target of the game, and it's Keys Smith, the young Dutch Kevin De Bruyne look-alike, with his first shot on target. Timbo, Canate is great, but I wouldn't put him in the top 5 centre-backs in the world. I would. I would say he's better than Mark Gay. I would say he's better than... if you're thinking top 5, who would you say is the top 5 centre-backs in the world then? Blake, what do you watch Chesterfield v Notts County for? Well, I mean, this weekend we're watching Notts County against Cheltenham. Monday. Monday, the international break is done. All the other football fan channels will go to bed. They'll all go quiet for a couple of weeks because the Premier League has stopped and the Champions League has stopped. It'll all stop again. Oh, no, not Key. Key will be watching Cheltenham Town. against Notts County. I'll probably be watching the Finnish league and the Latvian league again, or what was it we did in the last international break? Djibouti against Egypt in the African World Cup qualifiers. Don't get that with Mark Goldbridge, do you? Matt, disgusting Tel Aviv fans ain't there. What do you mean it's disgusting the Tel Aviv fans ain't there? Or are you saying disgusting Tel Aviv fans are not there? I'm not sure how you've wrote that, mate. Timbo, Van Dijk, Gabriel, Bastoni, Saliba, Rudiger, probably. Rudiger? See, I think the whole Arsenal not conceding for a very long time has clouded people's opinion. I would not put Gabriel and Saliba in the top 5 centre-backs in world football. I just wouldn't. They're very, very talented centre-backs, but I'd put Ruben Dias ahead of both of them, if I'm dead honest. I think Ruben Dias is better than both of them. I feel like Gabriel and Saliba are in a really, really good moment and they're playing really good for Arsenal, really well for Arsenal, but they're in a team that sits very deep, or a team that concedes very limited chances because of the way they play. They don't sit very deep necessarily, that's harsh, because they do push up quite high, but they take no risks. They have so many bodies behind the ball, and it's Arteta's style, it's Arteta's way of playing that I think leads them to have the results and the stats that they have. Timbo, Rudiger's also had a wobble this season, but so good on his day. And Blake, absolutely wrong. Saliba is class. Well, again, Arsenal fans would argue that Gabriel is better than Saliba. I got so much stick for putting Saliba in a team of the season last year, and Arsenal fans came at me en masse and said, "What are you doing? What are you doing? Gabriel is miles better than Saliba." So they can't get it right in their own fan base, to be honest. Timbo, I'd put Peak Stones top 5 too, but he's not that right now. Yeah, I think Stones has maybe had his day, hasn't he? I would agree, though, he would have been top 5. Shell, I don't have a wife, but my hubby asked me the same question, and my answer is because I'm not watching that shit Corrie Emmerdale you're watching. He watches Corrie and Emmerdale. Christ, that would have been a deal breaker on the marriage for me, that Shell. Although saying that, my missus watches fucking Vampire Diaries and Grey's Anatomy and all that stuff. House. I actually don't mind House. It's quite... I wouldn't choose to watch it, but she does watch some crap. Alex, what about Mark Gay? Is class on the ball? He is not. I like him. I like Mark Gay. Just because we say they're not the best 5 centre-backs in world football doesn't mean I think they're bad centre-backs. Very, very good. Delta Force, do you think there are too many cup competitions now? If so, what one would you scrap? I probably would scrap the League Cup. Yeah. Or I would make the League Cup. Do you know what I would do? Honestly, if I could be in charge of the way that the league is structured, I guess, and how teams are rewarded, I would take whoever finishes 4th in the league. I wouldn't let them get the Champions League. I would give it to the FA Cup winners. I would. Yeah, I think that would mix things up. I think that would massively improve the standing of the FA Cup. I would award the FA Cup winners with a Champions League place, and I would take 4th place off. Whoever finishes 4th wouldn't get it. So last season, Palace would now be in the Champions League and Chelsea wouldn't. Chelsea would be in the Europa League. I think that would be better. That would have been a much, much better outcome. Timbo, I feel like Gay has become slightly overrated, to be honest. He's a top 4 level centre-back, that's it, not world class. And football clubs would never agree with that rule change in a million years. I think you'd be surprised, I reckon if you open that up to the whole Premier League, because it's not a meritocracy anymore. The Premier League if you finish 4th in the Prem, I know there'd be teams like Newcastle wouldn't like that. And I think there'd probably be teams like Chelsea wouldn't like that. But it would massively improve the chances of like England getting one-off teams in the chat. Like imagine an FA Cup win, like Wigan being in the Champions League, or Portsmouth getting in the Champions League, or having one season in the Champions League like that can be defining for clubs, can't it? It can be unbelievable memories, and I think it would spice it up again. It would make the FA Cup unbelievable. Whereas right now, nobody really values the FA Cup or the League Cup because they're effectively the same thing. The FA Cup's maybe a little bit more prestigious, but like if you asked the top 5-6 teams. If you asked Man United right now, if you said to Ruben Amorim, you can win the FA Cup or you can finish in the top 4, what do you think he'd take? In fact, if you could offer that to Enzo Maresca. If you offer that to Enzo Maresca, Ruben Amorim, Thomas Frank, you can either win the FA Cup or you can finish in the Champions League places. Which would it be? I guarantee every single one of them would take the Champions League place. They'd finish 4th and empty-handed. Timbo, do those small teams win the FA Cup with that rule change? Well, maybe. Yeah, I mean, look, we all know that the FA Cup can produce some classics, and we all know that it can, it can cause some upsets. And in one-off games, anyone can beat anyone. I firmly believe that. It would just mean that teams would take it a lot more seriously, wouldn't they? Delta Force, you can't scrap the League Cup. We won that this year. I have my replica League Cup standing proudly on my mantelpiece. Yeah, no, well, I probably wouldn't scrap any of the competitions, to be honest, mate. No, I wouldn't scrap any of them. I think there's enough. The League Cup's been going for a very long time. I just feel like the Champions League is a much bigger competition now, and yeah, maybe it is time to scrap the League Cup. I don't know. John Steve, the FA Cup is a pathway to Europe for some smaller clubs. I know, but the problem is that the Europa League, like, it can often be a hindrance to them, whereas I think if you've got a Champions League, the Champions League is a game changer. And it would also reinvigorate the interest from the other clubs. Chance! Oh, off the post from Palace! Munoz! Oh, just wide. Palace have hit the post early on here. 3-star Reds, as the European football started today on the TV, because what I was watching certainly was not football. Lausanne 0, Omonia 1. Jake, Van der Ven in the top 5 centre-backs this season. No, I can't put Van der Ven in there, mate. I think this is people reacting short-term to him scoring an unbelievable goal. And, he did well in the Europa League final, that big clearance he did against United. But there's also plenty of times where he's got it wrong, hasn't he? And he's like even at the game against Chelsea. The game against Chelsea, he was terrible. Mad Pup, evening all. Some European round of games for the Scots. Didn't think Aberdeen would be the one picking up the coefficient points. Goal for Roma, 1-0 at Rangers. I told you, Roma 1-0 in front at Ibrox. Will forever watch Liverpool get PSG again after the league. I hope that's not the case, though. Hey, we'll take him. All day, every day. Edwin, how's it going? United v Spurs this weekend. Prediction. Ooh. Prediction for United this weekend. Spurs 2-1. Yeah, Spurs 2-1. Shell, good luck v Roma, Mad Pup. Well, I don't think it's going to be your night, to be honest, Pup. Sorry, mate. Jake, Rangers have been so bad this season. Celtic haven't been much better, though, have they? It's a corner to Palace. Long throw in. Flick on. Oh, chance! Oh, good save from Owusu Adoro. And now they're on the counter-attack with Patati. And if they can get it right here, they've got plenty of pace here, Patati. He's up against Gay, I think. Or is it Mitchell? Oh, he does well there, but he just can't quite wriggle between the two. Mad Pup, the Toffees... Oh, Shell, need a lot more than luck. Do you know what I thought that said then, Pup? I thought you were saying the Toffees need a lot more than luck. I was going to say I agree with you there, but it does feel like a slightly unnecessary dig. I thought you was just saying, yeah, thanks, Shell. Everton need loads more than luck. Oh, hey, that's a penalty, ref. That is a penalty. Yes, it is. Penalty to Palace. Oh, there's a claim for an offside, though, I think. There's a claim for an offside. It's a claim for an offside. Yo, I don't know, you know. It's going to be checked. Let's just watch this back. I think it's Mitchell. Let's just watch. Is he onside? Is he offside? What's going on? Oh, I think he might just be on, you know. Hey, and let's see. Was it a penalty? It's Sarr, actually. And Mitchell plays him through. Ah, he's tripped himself up. That's not a pen. That's not a pen. That isn't a pen. I think he's onside, but I don't think that's a penalty. I think he's going to get he's going to get sent to look at this. Because that isn't a penalty. That isn't a penalty, I'm telling you. That isn't a penalty. That is not a penalty, I'm telling you. It's definitely not a penalty. Watch it back. There's a VAR check now. I don't know if it's just for the offside or if it's for the actual pen. Jordan says, oh my God, Sarr, get up. Are you saying it because you don't want him injured? He isn't injured, mate. He's tripped himself up here. He has tripped himself up. That is not a penalty. It should be ruled out, this. I like Palace. I want Palace to win, but I think this should be ruled out. That is not a penalty, I'm telling you. VAR penalty. Wow, he's give it. He's give it. Crazy. Mad Pope says, think he woke up and chose violence. Well, it is going to be a penalty. I am astonished at that, to be honest. I am absolutely astonished. It's a great pass in from Pino. Pino gets it to Sarr. Watch this back. He doesn't touch him. He doesn't touch him. That is a dive. That is a dive from Sarr. That is literally a dive. He doesn't touch him. Watch this back. He trips himself up. He trips himself up. I like Palace. I like him a lot, but that is a dive. That is a shocking, shocking decision from the referee. And he's a lucky, lucky boy, Ismaila Sarr. But Mateta's going to step up and take this. We're seeing, do you know what, it's crazy, right? We're seeing penalties given for that. And then the Liverpool one against Real Madrid doesn't get given. It's madness. Jordan, luckiest penalty we've had. Well, there you go. At least the Palace fans know it's lucky. I accept that one, Jordan. Fair enough. At least you know it's lucky. They're very, very fortunate to get that one, Palace. Here's Mateta, right-footed. Keeper saves. And that is justice. That is justice. There's nothing wrong with that. That is a great save from Owusu Adoro. And I told you, he was a good young keeper. Big, big save. Crystal Palace 0, still 0-0. Justice, to be honest, says Jordan. Can't wait for them to ban us again because of the banner. Oh, have you put another banner up? I didn't see it. I didn't see it. John Steve, without dragging politics into things, it's shocking that the Maccabi fans aren't allowed in. Mate, have you seen what happened with the Maccabi fans in Amsterdam? Because it's nothing to do with politics. It's literally down to their behaviour. It's down to the behaviour. At least that's my understanding of it. It's not actually due to anything political. It's due to their behaviour when they went to Amsterdam. Chance. Oh, another big save from Owusu Adoro. Oh, that is absolutely unbelievable. And over the bar, and that's going to be a goal kick. Owusu Adoro putting in some audition here for AZ Alkmaar. That's absolutely incredible stuff. Great ball in from Will Hughes and a brilliant save from Sarr. Shell, welcome to Dice Ball 3-star. Timbo, maybe I'm wrong, but I feel like more pens are missed when they're pens that should have been given. See, I'd like to see less penalties given. Off the bar from Will Hughes. I tell you what, they're riding the luck here a little bit, AZ Alkmaar. 20 minutes in, Palace have hit the post twice and missed a penalty. So it's been a good start to this game for us. A very, very fast start. Oh, excuse me. 19 minutes in. It's different gravy, this, from Crystal Palace, but you've got to admire the way that AZ Alkmaar are playing as well. Keith Smith. Here he is. Great play. Unlucky. Good defending from Palace. Coop Miners. Jake, the goalkeeper, is so good. What a save from him. Yeah, very, very talented young keeper, Owusu Odoro. Good switch. Patati. Unlucky. Stealth, how's it going, mate? Good to see you. An unknown, hope they lose. I can't stand this one Palace fan who goes live on here. What's his name? Because I think I might know who you mean. Because he's coming a few of the lives on here. I'm sure he's coming a few of our lives and been dead obnoxious. It might well be the same one we're talking about. Shell the Toffee, Villa still 0-0. Yeah, still 0-0 with Maccabi Tel Aviv. That was a great effort from Will Hughes as well. Premier League something he's called. Is it not just me? Is that not just me? It might just be me, that. That Palace fan is an absolute weapon, calls himself the Doc. Yeah, I'm not sure I know that one. Not sure I know that one. I don't know who... Yeah, we might be talking different people. I don't know. But hey, listen. There's, in fairness, everyone's got bell whiffs as fans, haven't they? Everyone's got the odd knobhead. Including Liverpool. You might categorise me as one of them. Jordan, HLTCO or WTV probably. No, I like HLTCO. I quite like him. Yeah, I like him. It's Dan, isn't it? Dan, his name. HLTCO. Yeah, he's good, him. I like him. Goes on Sky Sports quite a bit. And he's strikes me as quite level-headed. Yeah. Balanced. Will, I know exactly who you mean, and it's annoying me that I can't remember his name. Proper gets to me, so he does. Right, it's a long throw in the box here from Palace. Jordan, I hate this time of year. Can't watch Palace play because I'm an hour and a half away. Ain't no way I'm trying to survive in South London at this time. Oh, Owusu Odoro didn't look so good then. Hacken 0, Strasbourg 1. And Timbo, who's your favourite football YouTuber? I'd go HITC7s. Hang on a minute. Hang on a minute, mate. Surely you want to rethink that. Surely you want to rethink that. I'll give you another chance. I'll give you a second chance. Unknown, don't know how I let someone online bother me, but I rage like mad. Yeah, don't let anything online bother you. Definitely don't let anyone online bother you. Lacroix with a strike. Oh, what a goal that is. Is that going to count? Is that going to count? There's a check on this one as well for an offside. That was a great finish from Lacroix. We've been talking about him being a really top centre-back, Going forward, it might just be getting ruled out, this one, though. Timbo, I only watch you on TikTok, so it didn't register to me. That's shocking, mate. I need you on YouTube. I swerve TikTok. TikTok kills me. I need you on your YouTube. Get over to YouTube. Goal check. I think this one might be given, I think Palace might get away with this one. Could have an early goal. John, wow, I wasn't even aware of what happened in Amsterdam. Fair enough. Yeah, I was going to say I'm pretty confident that was why they were banned, because of previous poor behaviour from their fans. It wasn't anything really to do with the whole political thing. It wasn't out to do with that, really. At least that is my limited understanding. Weak foot as well. He is going to be offside. There's definitely a claim for offside there for against Mateta. I think it was against Mateta, but it's some finish from Lacroix. Not stopping that. Timbo, why does TikTok kill you? I don't make anything from TikTok. TikTok, I quite frequently get thousands of people watching. Literally, you've probably been in some of the lives where I've had like 2,500 people watching the live. Doesn't convert into followers. Doesn't actually get me anything, really. So TikTok's just not a platform I thrive on for whatever reason. I don't know, but I do a lot better on YouTube, and if I can get everyone over to YouTube, that's like suits me down to the ground. But I'm fine being on it everywhere, really. Twitch is good too. But YouTube's the ultimate place. That's where everyone... You look at some of the big streamers and stuff. If you go and find like the big content creators on TikTok, they tend to do really well on TikTok, but they're not so good on YouTube. It's mad. Like, there's people who've got like 500,000 followers on TikTok, and I'm looking at them and I'm like, ooh, I'll go and have a look at them on YouTube. Find the YouTube channel, and they've got like 400 subscribers, which is no bad thing, by the way. I'm not looking down my nose on that. But when I look at it and think, well, I'm doing all right so far on YouTube, but I'm pretty crap on TikTok. Palace's goal's going to count. Lacroix, what a finish. What a goal, and it stands. There you go. It was a great finish, that. I think it was a very tight offside call in the end. Blake Griffin, lots of football streamers end up on Sky if they give you a contract to talk on a segment. Are you on? I'm in the app that you can get on, basically, but it's... I think it's heavily randomised. I've been invited to be part of some group of people that they might end up putting on to Sky Sports. I don't know. Maybe I'll get on it. Maybe I won't. I got asked by Terry Flewers if I wanted to go on the football terrace last week as well. So that's still in the offing alongside what's his name, Don Hussam. But yeah, I've had some opportunities from it. Like, don't get me wrong, it's good. Unknowns has cost me £250 for the hospitality ticket against Karabag. It's pricey, innit? Timbo, alright, fine, Kiev moved to YouTube. Good lad. Hey, there you go, converted one. I like it. This is too easy, says Jordan. Weak foot as well, love it. Better on YouTube as well, innit? You get better, you get a scoreboard, you get everything. It's great on YouTube. Looks a lot more professional, I think, on YouTube anyway. Will, I assume it's because of the algorithm key. It could well be, yeah. A Hunt, what part of Liverpool are you from? I was born in Wiston, and I was raised in St Helens, which is just outside Liverpool. Jake Fitzpatrick, what did you think about the Diaz red? I still haven't seen it. Yeah, I still haven't seen it. How's it going? He's a wool. Oh, don't hit me where it hurts. It's not even an insult, Wool. I don't even take it as an insult. I'm not that bothered. Timbo, I didn't know you had graphics like this. I've been missing out on this visionary masterpiece. It is, isn't it? It's a veritable chocolate feast for the eyes. Right, Palace all the way back. Is it? Yeah, he's not going to be able to get it forward. All the way back to the keeper. Big dunk. We've all got to be from somewhere key. I know, mate, and this is it. Can't all be from Birkenhead like you, can we? Jake, it was bad, nearly an ankle breaker. Well, isn't he out for a good while? I'm sure someone said he was out for a while as a result of that tackle, but I haven't seen it, so I don't know. Use that as your channel slogan, a veritable chocolate feast for the eyes. There you go. To be honest, I was going to put my channel slogan as something, I don't know, like some of the digs that I've been getting. Once, what was the shout I got the other day? I can't remember. You get some mad digs. There's a guy at the minute who is literally creating accounts repeatedly. I think he's created about 40 different accounts thus far, and I keep blocking him, and he just keeps coming in and messaging me the same thing. Big dunk, 6 weeks, ligaments, and Blake Griffin says, not bad, Wiston took the kids to Knowsley Safari. Knowsley Safari's wicked, yeah. Knowsley's I mean, if you want your car window wipers ripped off, yeah, it's great. Jordan, please tell me you're doing York versus Rochdale Tuesday. I haven't seen that yet. Is that on? It'll be on DAZN, won't it? Yeah, we could do that. We could do that on Tuesday. I'm game for that. Timbo, I think your channel slogan should be Define Young. Tugging in the box and Define Young. Big Dunk, what's he blocked for, Key? Probably blue. No, he's not a blue. He's a Chelsea fan. Yeah, he's a Chelsea fan. He's just a very, very sad person. A very sad and lonely person, I think, who spends a lot of time making accounts to message, and then you get blocked. I don't even respond to it, you just block him. And then he makes another one. You block him again. He makes another one. You block him again. And he just keeps making new accounts, which I assume means he's got to keep making new email addresses. It's a lot of hard work, that. And I can't imagine what he gets out of it. But I know who he is. I know his name and everything. I know where he's from. I know his name. I was tempted for message him on Facebook, message his mum or something on Facebook and say, "Are you aware your lad's doing this?" Are you aware your lad's doing this? Absolutely shocking. Betis 1, Leon 0. Jake, my birthday's in 2 weeks. I can't wait. Nice. Nice. You got anything nice planned? Prediction for Everton v Fulham on Saturday. Hopefully Fulham 4-0. Hopefully. Jordan, there's Forest Green, Tamworth 2, but I'd say the Rochdale game is better. York Rochdale. Okay, alright. Okay. Let's have a look. Let's have a little look, see. Because you might have teased me into that one. Right, here we go. Let's have a look. Tuesday, you say. Tuesday, the 11th of November. Right, let's have a look. Who's on Tuesday? Yeah, EFL Trophy, all grim. Forest Green, Tamworth, York v Rochdale. Yes, I am absolutely game for that. York v Rochdale it is. And then on Wednesday I'm probably not going to do a game. Because there's only the Women's Champions League on. And as you all know, I will not watch women's football. Because I'm an old dinosaur. That's a joke, by the way. But yeah, no, I'm not watching. I don't think there's anything on Wednesday. Timbo, it's my alt account, sorry. And Shell, still a nasty pasty to my beautiful team. No, that's just what I was hoping for. What I think will happen is it'll probably be 1-1. It'll probably be a dull, boring 0-0 or 1-1. A dull and boring game, draw. Mr. Beecham, do we care? No. Well, you care enough to be in me chat, mate. Hey, you're a Wigan fan, aren't you? Timbo, Key hates women, heard it here first. Jordan, do you follow Liverpool's women's team? I know you don't like watching it, but do you look at the results and that? No, honestly, no, this is going too far now. See, Timbo's literally creating a rumour here, and I don't like it. I'm gonna nip it in the bud. I absolutely do not hate women. I absolutely do not hate women. I do not hate women's football. It's nothing to do with that. We've watched lots of women's football on this channel. However, I'm not watching women's football for the sake of watching women's football. It feels very tick in the box sort of thing. So I don't like doing it for the sake of doing it. Feels a little bit forced and sort of dumb. I'm one of them people, to be fair. Do you know when you see when there was all these like skins and In-Betweeners? When I never watched In-Betweeners when it first came out because everyone was watching it and everyone was like, "Oh, you've got to watch In-Betweeners, it's dead good." And I was that kid who was like, "Nah, I'm not watching it, shit." Never seen it. Same with the Peep Show and the IT Crowd. I've just never watched them because I refused to watch them because other people said they were good. So it's like, that's my, I know, stubborn, very stubborn. But yeah, no, I don't follow the women's team. The only thing I'll occasionally like, I watched the derby the other day, the other week it was, the Liverpool-Everton game, and Everton battered us at Anfield. I watched that, or at least I watched the highlights of it. I think I caught the back end of it and then I watched the highlights of it. But very few, very, very few women's games that I get to watch purely because of the amount of football in the men's game that I watch. Jordan, I've only just watched Peaky Blinders and now on to Game of Thrones. See, Peaky Blinders and Game of Thrones would be two more examples of that. Yeah, I agree. I'm exactly the same. John Steve, you're allowed to say women's football is shit without being offensive. No, and that's fine. I know it's a different game, mate. I agree with you. It's a very, very different game. I'm not saying it's shit, by the way. But it's a very, very different game to the men's game. And you can appreciate it in a different way. Some of the best games we watched, funnily enough, was the Women's Euros over the summer. I liked it. I enjoyed it. It was a good laugh. It was a good laugh. And that sounds patronising as well. I can't say anything right. It was a good games of football, and I enjoyed watching them. Not just because it was women's football. I enjoyed watching them as games of football. But I'm not invested in the women's game. I don't know any of the teams. I don't know any of the players. Like, I can watch the Women's Euros because it's a one-off competition of nations, isn't it? And I'm familiar with all the nations, but I don't know who Gotham FC are, which are apparently a big women's team. I don't know who's good in the women's game anymore. Were Lyon were once good. I don't know if PSG are now. Apparently Arsenal won the Champions League last year. That's already, like, weird to me. That's like us entering some alternative, the Twilight Zone where Arsenal are successful. So, yeah, I don't know. I guess it just doesn't sit right with me because I don't really know what I'm talking about. And again, someone would say, "Oh, well, you don't know what you're talking about with the men's game, so shut up and watch it." Jordan, women's football is too slow for me. Ain't my cup of tea. I sometimes watch Arsenal women and Chelsea when they're early kick-off on Sunday. And Wolfsburg are good. That says it all. I don't know. There you go. I don't know where to sit with it. Blake, performative woke nonsense. If it's not the Lionesses in a final, not interested. And Jake, you're a proper football fan. Rangers 0, AS Roma 2. Matthias Sewell with another one. Yeah, I was going to say, I would consider myself just a football fan. But a men's football fan. Because I don't really know what's going on with the women's footy. 2-0 Betis, Anthony. Unbelievable. It's not a good night for Rangers, is it? And it wasn't a great night for Celtic earlier, so... Oh, it was Pellegrini, actually. It wasn't Matthias Sewell. It was Pellegrini with the goal. Joe, our only home league game in November is City. It's going to be a tough November. Ooh, Pino's limping here. This is not what you want to see, Jordan. Pino limping. Mad Pope, you ever watch the Masters? Masters as in Masters football? Or are you talking about like Masters like the golf? Or isn't there a tennis Masters as well? If we're talking about Masters football, yeah, I watched Masters football back in the day. I used to love it. But now it's all like the Ballers League in it and stuff like that. I can't watch the Ballers League. I hate watching that. I'll refuse to watch the Ballers League. But Masters footy was great back in the day. I loved watching that. Rapid Vienna 0, Universidad Craiova 0. John Steve, Ballers League is cringe. It is, isn't it? Yeah, I don't get Ballers League. And you know what? I say that, but like, if I was ever invited on, imagine a world where I was invited on. If I ever got half decent in terms of fame. Can you imagine? Premier League dad, Key Thomas in the Ballers League. I'd snatch their hand off to play in it. Because I love a game of footy. I'd be pretty embarrassing, but I'd play it. But I can also say that I don't think it's... Yeah, I agree. I'm not sure it's particularly cringy. Blake, Ball Sack League is just shocking, and Joe Ballers League isn't that bad. It's yeah. I don't know. I don't like it. Timbo, how many Chelsea players get in a combined Liverpool-Chelsea all-time Premier League 11? I'm saying 6 Chelsea, 5 Liverpool. All-time, I would go... Well, hang on a minute. Let me guess yours. Because if you're saying, I reckon you're putting Cech in, and I would put Alisson in. And I think only one of those keepers has been the best in the world at their peak. Cech was very, very good, but I don't think he was ever best in the world. Alisson, I think, has been the best in the world. And is, in my opinion, now. But anyway, I would say Cech is a very good keeper, but I would have Alisson over him. Left back, Ashley Cole. I think we can agree on that. Centre backs, I think we can agree Van Dijk and Terry. Can we? And right back, I think we'd have to say Trent Alexander-Arnold. I can't really argue against that. I think Trent Alexander-Arnold redefined the role. Best right back in the world. Yeah, absolutely unreal. So I would go Trent Alexander-Arnold at right back, and then into midfield. I think it would be Gerrard, Lampard, Makelele, Kante. Maybe Kante. I don't know. Makelele was great. Gerrard, Lampard, Kante, maybe. I'd go Gerrard, Lampard, Kante. There's lots of other good ones you could throw in there as well, but yeah, Gerrard, Lampard, Kante would probably be my three, and then front three would be Suarez, Salah, who kind of gets in both, I guess, but mainly for Liverpool. Suarez, Salah. I'm assuming you've put Hazard in. I can live with putting Hazard in, but for me, I think no, not even I would have Coutinho over Hazard. So I would have. I mean, some would have Mane over Hazard as well. Some would have John Barnes over the lot of them. Steve McManaman was very good. Robin was very good, but I think no, I would go Salah, Suarez. You're probably going to put Hazard, but I would say Salah, Suarez, and Coutinho. Blake Griffin, Coutinho and Mane over Hazard. This bloke isn't even hiding it anymore. Drogba's not in over Suarez. Timbo on Alisson and Cech. That's not a fair comparison. Cech was competing with Buffon, Van der Sar, Neuer. Because he has to be the best in the world. Alisson wasn't. Alisson's competing with Neuer still. Alisson's been competing with Neuer. He's also been competing with Courtois, and there's been lots of good goalkeepers. Or Black, really good goalkeepers. We have some fabulous goalkeepers. I like I said, for me, I knew you were going to put Cech in, but I think Alisson's another one who has redefined the goalkeeper role. So, in my opinion, I would go Alisson, but I can understand you putting Cech in. So I'm not going to like fight you tooth and nail for it. You say Cech, I say Alisson. I don't think we're going to find common ground on that. Timbo, Alisson competing with Pension and Neuer. What are you on about? What are you on about? Neuer was only about 30 when Alisson joined us. What are we saying? Jake, who do you think is going to win the World Cup next summer? I reckon Brazil or Spain. I think Spain. I can't see past Spain. John says Makelele had a full position named after him. Well, so did Deschamps. See, the crazy thing is if we could include De Bruyne would be in there, wouldn't he, as well? It would be De Bruyne. Well, no, do you know what? No, actually, I would have Lampard over De Bruyne. I would pick Lampard over De Bruyne, but Gerrard, Lampard, Makelele, or yeah, Deschamps was a very, very good player as well. Marcel Desailly, if you're having peak Desailly probably gets in at centre back over John Terry. Caicedo was better than both of them. Caicedo is not better than Makelele or Kante. You are absolutely talking out your pants. Timbo, 202 clean sheets is madness. He's like the Shearer of keepers. You could put Hullet in maybe on a technical. Yeah, Hullet, George Weah. Do you know what I mean? Like you could squeeze a few in that sense. But yeah, no, I think the problem with the 202 clean sheets, mate, is because you've got to factor in the Chelsea defence and how Chelsea played. Chelsea played a little bit like this Arsenal side play, so it's difficult to comprehend that, Petr Cech didn't have to save Chelsea week in, week out. I reckon if you looked at Premier League goalkeepers, like clean sheets per shots faced, I reckon Alisson is up there with the greatest. Like, for me, it's Alisson, it's Peter Schmeichel, it's Van der Sar. I think he had to make a lot of big saves for Man United. Petr Cech didn't have to make a huge number of world-class saves for Chelsea. A lot of the time, he didn't really face many shots. He dealt with what he had to, and he was a really good goalkeeper. One of the best. I'm not knocking Cech at all, but I don't think he was. I wouldn't have him ahead of Alisson. I just wouldn't. That would be my case anyway. Whereas Alisson, honestly, Liverpool have left him exposed for pretty much his entire Liverpool career. It's been Van Dijk and Konate on the halfway line, and how many one-on-ones Alisson has saved is ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. But, Mad Pup, I raise you, Bruce Grobbelaar. Grobbelaar was good. But he was a bit of a wild card, wasn't he? Timbo, I'd agree with you if Cech didn't have the best ever save percentage in a season in 06-07 and second best in 04-05. And again, I'm not knocking him as a keeper. He was very, very good. I just don't think he ever had to be world class to get the 202 clean sheets that you're talking about. Because I think he had the best defence in front of him. Cole, Terry, Carvalho. I mean, even if you put Paulo Ferreira or whoever on the right-hand side, they were still very, very good. And then he had Makelele in front of him. And sometimes it was Essien. When, a next generation, it was Essien in front of him. He just had a great defence in front of him. I think that when you look at clean sheets, it's not the goalkeeper who keeps clean sheets, it's the defence, isn't it? It's the full team in some cases, but clean sheets are a sign of a good defence, not a good goalkeeper. Jake, in my opinion, only one player from Chelsea get in the Premier League all-time 11. Only one player from Chelsea gets in the Premier League all-time 11. Mo Salah? I'm assuming it's Mo Salah. Shell says, love John Barnes, had a mad crush on him. And Timbo, this is the problem. None of our players get ratings because they all apparently were carried by each other. No, that's not true. That's not true. So I disagree. I think Lampard was exceptional, but he had Makelele behind him, and that's why he's not as good as Gerrard. But he still gets into the team. Chance here for Alkmaar. Oh, big save. Very, very big save from Henderson. Nearly 1-1. Yeah, Lampard was unbelievable as Gerrard. Maybe better than Gerrard going forward, right? He was great. He was absolutely fantastic. But he was that good because he had Makelele behind him. Gerrard didn't have that. Gerrard could do everything. He was nearly as good as Lampard going forward, but miles better defensively as well. But yeah, you had the benefit of a functioning squad throughout that time. Liverpool didn't. We had lots of if you look at all the players that I'm including, I'm talking like Coutinho, unbelievable individual. Suarez, unbelievable individual. Salah, unbelievable individual. Do you know what I mean? Like Alisson, unbelievable individual. I'm not talking clean sheets with Alisson. I'm talking the fact that he bailed us out all the time, and still won multiple Premier Leagues, Champions Leagues. The guy's unreal. Timbo, Gerrard had Mascherano and Alonso behind him. Hey, Xabi Alonso abandoned his post an awful lot. It's not quite the same as Kante and whoever. It's not quite the same as Makelele, rather. Alonso frequently abandoned his post. And Mascherano, again, he charged all over Mascherano wasn't that good for us. He was a good player, but he excelled at Barcelona, usually as a centre-back. Palace, chance, must be 2-0. There you go. Who's got it? Is it Sarr? Sarr, 2-0. Big goal that for Palace, 2-0. Big goal. And that puts him out of sight. Jake says Salah only peaked in the Premier League when he joined us, and Alex, John Barnes was world class. Johnny Barnes was great, wasn't he? Different class. And Lisha, what's a midfield trio you genuinely think can win you games, game in, game out all season? Soberslide, Gravenberch and McAllister. That is our midfield trio, yeah. Villa 1, Maccabi Tel Aviv 0. They've gone 1-0 up at Villa Park in the final minutes of the first half. Who's got it though? Ian Martson, the fullback. Timbo, Gerrard then had Henderson and Lucas behind him. Not saying they were amazing, but Gerrard always had defensive players behind him. No, he didn't. He didn't, mate. I promise you. It certainly wasn't the same. It certainly wasn't the same. If you look at Gerrard throughout his career, he always had a crap back four behind him and crap holding midfielders behind him. He was doing most of the donkey work himself. Certainly not the same. It's not comparable to Lampard. And that's why when Gerrard ever got called up to England, he was always doing Lampard's donkey work behind him, wasn't he? Let's know I'm saying all time. So what are you saying? An all-time midfield three? My all-time midfield three. If we have to pick three players, so there's got to be a degree of balance. I'm guessing. I would go Gerrard, Zidane. There's a VAR check on this. I think it should still stand. I can't see it being ruled out. Goal. It's been given. Goal's given. 2-0. Gerrard, Zidane, and it's really difficult this, because I want to pick like a Makelele and a Kante and something like that. But actually, if you've got Gerrard and Zidane in there, they could do a fair bit of that work themselves. So I'm not sure I'd need a Makelele or a Kante. I think I could sacrifice that and get another half decent midfielder in. I don't know. Give me some time to think on that one, because there's some very, very talented midfielders that I'd like to work in there. Oh, chance should be 3. Oh, nearly 3. Very nearly 3. Bang on half time. Blake, thoughts on Johnny Heitinga sacked from Galatasaray? It was always coming. It was a bad start for him, and I think it's only going to get worse if he stayed there. He hasn't really got the wherewithal to be a top manager. I don't think, Johnny Heitinga. Lisha, does Xavi get in there? No, I don't think so. I think Busquets might actually. Busquets. I would go Busquets. I would go Gerrard, Zidane, Busquets. That would be my midfield 3. Timbo Slice, crap back 4. Weren't Carragher and Hyypiä supposed to be amazing? Hyypiä, yes. Jamie Carragher is the equivalent of. It's difficult, right? Because for 2 years, Jamie Carragher he got in the UEFA Team of the Year. I reckon if you literally showed the game against AC Milan in Istanbul, yes, we conceded 3 goals, but particularly the second half, you could or the game against Chelsea, the 2 games against Chelsea actually, Stamford Bridge and Anfield. If you just showed Jamie Carragher's performances in those 2 games, you could literally write on the videotape how to defend. Like it's literally unbelievable from Jamie Carragher, those 2 games, and in the final against AC Milan. So he was great, but he had a very short peak, and he was a right back, and he just worked his socks off for us, really. So he was great because of what he achieved, but he wasn't a great centre back, Carragher. I don't think he never claims to be fair. Sami Hyypiä was a top centre back. Sami Hyypiä was Virgil van Dijk without the pace. That's how I describe Sami Hyypiä. But again, he had a left back who just consistently abandoned his post. He had a right back who was always injured. So we were forever changing our right back. We had a left back who didn't really care about position. And we had a goalkeeper that was always throwing goals in. So it was always difficult for Hyypiä, Carragher and Gerrard because they were always carrying us. Blake wasn't always crap back four. Carragher and Skirtle was class on the day. Skirtle was dreadful. Maybe not. Yeah, he wasn't dreadful, but he wasn't great, was he? Skirtle, I wouldn't be putting in a conversation for like. If I'm talking about Liverpool's top 10 centre backs of all time, or top 10 centre backs in my lifetime, I'm not sure I'll put Martin Skirtle in there. John Steve, can't forget about good old Colo. And Jake, who gets in your all-time Premier League 11? Oh, Christ, there we go. Now we are getting into the nitty-gritty. Timbo, boring answer, but the best ever midfield three is Busquets, Xavi, and Iniesta. I know, that's not a boring answer. I like that. I like those three as well. And Delta Force, I remember Steve Nicol scoring a header from outside the box. Suarez very nearly. Well, Suarez did, I think. Edge of the box, maybe not outside the box. Shell, Villa 1-0 half-time, and good news for Palace, 2-0, they're smashing it. All-time Premier League 11. The real donut, it's 2-0 now. And this year, Fabio Aurelio covered Carragher so many times, by the way. No. What are you talking about? No. Carragher was on the other side. Carragher didn't play left-back. Carragher was right centre-back. Huppier was left-sided centre-back. Yeah, Carragher, Fabio Aurelio did not cover Jamie Carragher. It was usually Risa getting Huppier into trouble, if anything. What we saying? Yeah, sorry, all-time Premier League 11, I would go Alisson, Trent, Van Dijk, Ashley Cole on the left, centre back. Kind of torn, really. I liked John Terry, but it's difficult to put him in. I think I probably would put him in, though. Yeah, I think I probably would put him in. Steve Finnan underrated. Steve Finnan was great. Lisha, do you remember the game at Anfield 2009 round of 16 against Real Madrid? I do. My dad was there. I had tickets and I didn't end up going to it. Timbo, Cech, Neville, Rio, Terry, Cole, Kante, Gerrard, Lampard, Ronaldo, Aguero, Henry. See, for me, it's Salah, Suarez, Henry is like a non-negotiable midfield front three. Salah, Suarez, Henry is easily the front three for me. Midfield, I think I would go Gerrard. It's so tough. Gerrard, Lampard is a good shout. Maybe Vieira. Gerrard, Lampard, Vieira. And then, yeah, Cole, Van Dijk has to go in there. I think Trent has to go in there. I think Alisson has to go in there. I know that's gonna, but it just does. I mean, I think Gary Neville said himself he'd put Trent Alexander-Arnold there now. I think team honours doesn't really make that much of an impact, in my opinion. Sequan says we need another goal and then start making some changes. What changes would you make? Would you start resting them for the weekend? Blake, 737 appearances for Liverpool, second all-time in history. Respect to you, Mr. Carragher. And the real donut, what about the bench? I mean, yeah, I don't know. We'd be here all night. This year, Trent doesn't even get into Liverpool's all-best 11. Well, he does in my lifetime. Yeah, he does in my lifetime. Certainly Premier League era. Trent Alexander-Arnold is our best right-back. If you're going further back, then you might look at, your Alan Kennedys, your Phil Neals, players like that, maybe. Neville is just humble, though. Doesn't mean he shouldn't be in. No, I know. Well, hey, that's certainly a... Gary Neville was an unbelievable right back. I think it's probably between those two, Neville and Trent. See, on the left, I'm kind of torn because I don't even want to put Ashley Cole in. I'd put Dennis Irwin in. In my humble opinion, I think Dennis Irwin's the best left back. But I can understand people saying Ashley Cole. I think Dennis Irwin was better. Blake, you don't rate Scholes, do you? It's not that I don't rate him. I think Scholes are very good. It's not that I don't rate him at all. I just think that Gerrard, Lampard, Vieira were better. Yeah, that's just that. Scholes a very good midfielder, top quality, but he's not. If you can only have one, if you could only have Gerrard or Scholes, you'd have in Gerrard. It's not a debate. Timbo, I've put Aguero over Suarez just for Premier League longevity, really. And that's a fair enough shout as well, because he was in the Premier League for a lot longer. But Suarez, that season that Suarez had, I know it was only one season, and people will say, why have you not... I get it. But Suarez, I think that one season at Liverpool where he nearly dragged us to a title on his own, I've never seen a season like that. Still, even now... And I know the record has been broken. I know Haaland's outscored him and Salah's outscored him, and I get all that. But Suarez, the quality of goals that year. And he didn't even take penalties, really. That's the other thing. Didn't even take penalties. Very nearly broke the Premier League record. John Steve, Leighton Baines, underrated left back. He is. Very good. Blake Van Persie had a season like that for Arsenal. He did, didn't he, just before he went to United. But not quite Suarez levels, but he was very, very good, Van Persie. I like Van Persie a lot as well. Timbo, without injuries, Aguero would have had a Suarez-like season, I think. Thing is, Aguero was winning games of football for Man City without needing to play like Suarez, so there's potential that he could have. He had that ability, didn't he? But he just didn't do it very often. Whereas I think Suarez did it for Liverpool, and then in that last season for Liverpool, he did it so consistently. And then he got the move to Barcelona and did it so consistently still. And I can't look past him. I think for me, he's the best centre-forward I've ever seen. That Barcelona version of Suarez and the last season at Liverpool, unplayable. Absolutely unplayable. He was disgustingly good. But I agree. Delta Force, I think Bruno for Newcastle is overrated. He's a good... Same with Tonali. Tonali, Bruno, Joe Linton as a midfield three are very, very good. And obviously Newcastle have won what they've won. So it's going to... In their fans' eyes, he is their best midfielder, isn't he? He's probably the best midfielder. That's the best midfield they've ever had. If you were to ask most Newcastle fans now... Give me your all-time Newcastle 11. The vast majority of last season's squad are in it. I would imagine. I imagine well, hang on a minute. Let's do it. Why not? Let's do it. Shearer would be in it instead of Isak, and maybe part of that is because of the situation that Isak left under. But I imagine they probably put in Joe Linton, Tonali, and Guimaraes. They probably all get in. I imagine they probably put Fabian Schär at centre-back. Probably Dan Burn as well. Livramento and Lewis Hall. I don't know. They probably get in there as well. Jake, mine would be Alisson, Trent, Virgil. Vidic. No, not Vidic. Vidic isn't in the conversation. Not in my opinion anyway. I'm not to each their own. But Vidic isn't in the conversation for me. In my humble opinion, Cole, Stevie G, Scholes, KDB, Henry, Salah, Ronaldo. Well, that would involve you playing one of those out of position. Lisha, I think one thing which gets Suarez in these combos is how good he was at the ball. And Bradders Colaccini at Newcastle was underrated. He was, but I don't think he'd be making it into an all-time Newcastle 11, would he? Or certainly a Premier League. If we were to do a Premier League 11 for Newcastle, who gets in it? Shearer. Beyond Shearer, Given. Shea Given. After that, maybe struggling. Like in terms of like way back when, I'm not sure who else you'd be including. You'd start to be leaning more heavily on the recent players. Sadio Haidara. No, seriously, Joe, come on. Joe, I need your help, right? If you're doing a Premier League all-time or Premier League Newcastle 11, who's your Newcastle 11 Premier League? Because I'm intrigued now. This is surely a Kevin Keegan or Ginola. Kevin Keegan, you've got to be a certain era to appreciate, and some would argue he was better at Liverpool and Hamburg, and obviously won 2 Ballon d'Ors, didn't he? He was great, Kevin Keegan, but I'm not sure that Newcastle would... many Newcastle fans, the vast majority of Newcastle fans, certainly sort of 50 and under, would appreciate Kevin Keegan. Whereas, yeah, I don't know. Ginola possibly. He had a good season. Ginola scored one of the best goals I've ever seen for Newcastle. That one where he kind of like, he goes to dummy it and he flicks it up over the player and then volleys it in and it bounces down off the crossbar. I'm sure it was in a Europa League game or a UEFA Cup game back then. Does Laurent Robert maybe get in it? Laurent Robert seemingly gets talked about an awful lot from Newcastle. Rob Lee wasn't bad. No, Rob Lee was a very good player. Nobby Solano. See, if I was doing a Newcastle team of players that I really liked, I'd be including Nobby Solano in there for sure. So I'd probably be tempted to go Nobby Solano, Alan Shearer, Murphy. Put Murphy in there. Or Anthony Gordon. I don't know. Yeah. Timbo, Given, Trippier, Sharp, Byrne, Livramento, Tonali, Kieran Dyer on his day, Bruno Guimaraes, Bellamy, Shearer, Ginola. Bellamy. See, I liked Bellamy. We never should have sold Bellamy at Liverpool, but something tells me Newcastle fans wouldn't be all that keen on putting him in. Joe, I've only experienced the Ashley days, pal, so can't pick from that many. Well, go on, give us yours from like just your lifetime. Then give us your Newcastle side, your all-time in your lifetime Newcastle side. Delta Force, Newcastle channels say Tonali is world class, but other channels say he is good at best. He's good. No, he is good. He is good, but world class is subjective. Is he the top 5, top 10 in his position? I wouldn't say so. If Liverpool were to sell McAllister and replace him with Tonali, I wouldn't be upset. Put it that way. But if you said you've got the option, would you sell McAllister for Tonali? I'd say no. I'd be quite happy to keep him. Blake, Les, Ferdinand gets in. Ferdinand was great. Andy Cole, in my opinion, Newcastle Andy Cole was great as well. He was sensational. Gillespie as well. Keith Gillespie could play. And Semyori kept Bayer just for a laugh. Timbo, on his day, Ben Arthur gets in. Johan Cabaye. Johan Cabaye was class. And Palace fans can appreciate Johan Cabaye as well. No, I agree. Johan Cabaye would... Short-lived, but I thought he was terrific. See, I think Johan Cabaye I'd probably put him over... Would it be harsh? I'd probably put him over Bruno. Joe would say, Krul, Trippier, Shah, Botman, Ritchie. Matt Ritchie. Tonali, Bruno, Joe Linton, Sam Maximin, Dwight Gale and Murphy. You're that desperate not to put Isak in there. You're that desperate not to put Isak in there, and you refuse to put Voltemada in because you knew what I'd say. So you whack Dwight Gale in at centre forward. Eagle-eyed Nate, Key, Palace fan here. Nice to see someone covering our game. Thoughts on us so far? We've got another Palace fan in the chat, mate. Jordan's one of our regulars, and we've got a few Palace fans who kind of float around the channel and watch us. We just watch football on here, mate. Every single game, I'm on more than most. But yeah, thoughts on Palace so far? Let me just get the clock going. I think you've been very good. I think you were a little bit fortunate with that penalty. Jordan agreed. He said that he thought it was the luckiest penalty you've had. I didn't think it was a pen. And I think it was justice that Owusu Adoro saved it. That said, you hit the post. So you hit the post and then you hit the crossbar, didn't you? Will Hughes. The goal from Lacroix, it was tight, but I think you probably deserved that one. And then obviously you nick one through Sarr right on half time. So you've played well. It's been a pretty drab affair. AZ Alkmaar haven't been great, but I expected Palace to win tonight. You're in again here. Could be 3. Oh, off the line and away. Chance again. Shot. It's just all one-way traffic here. This could be 4 or 5. It could be a cricket score. Kabay being our record signing prior to signing Benteke is mind-blowing. And Timbo, why has he said Gale rather than Wilson? And, well, he said it because he wants me to bite. That's what it is. Here, let's see. That's just my opinion. Newcastle, where's Isak? This is it. He's absolutely... He just doesn't want to put Isak in there because he hates Isak. Delta Force, did you rate Haman? Yeah, but I love Dietmar Haman as a player. He's an absolute tit as a person. And he hates Liverpool now. He just seems to give a shit in the media every time he speaks. But, yeah, he was a Newcastle player. That's where we signed him from. Very good. Andrew Bork, up the Palace. Good to see you, Andrew. Palace having a great season, though. Do we think Oliver Glasner stays? Big question. Does he stay? At the end of the season, contract's up, does Oliver Glasner stay at Palace? And if he doesn't, who replaces him? Reading 1, Stevenage 0, and RZ have got the ball at the back here quite comfortably. Shell, it must be like playing Livish for Palace. Oh, don't be like that, Shell. I know they beat us a few times this season. John, I'd say that first season from Torres rivals Suarez's. No. It was just... Do you know what it was with Torres? It was just iconic. It was like... He was so likeable, wasn't he? And that's why it hurt so much when he left. He was so thoroughly likeable. Jake, how are Villa only 1-0 up against a random team from Asia? What do you mean a random team from Asia? Maccabi Tel Aviv aren't from Asia. Here we go. AZ Alkmaar on the left-hand side. Smith. Oh, there's a claim for the penalty there. They're not going to get it. He is one. Do you know what? He is a player that Palace... He's got Crystal Palace signing all over him, Keys Smith. Joe Key, I just want to put it out there. I found the criticism of Elanga horrendous last night. No wonder he's got little confidence. Was it the criticism from the pundits when you watch the game back, or was it mainly from the fans in the stands? Obviously, you commented yesterday, didn't you, mate, that you sit behind or sit in front of at St James's Park some quite negative fans. Is it that? Is it the negative fans in the home end at Newcastle that are giving Anthony Elanga some stick? Lisha, Key, I'm not sure if you've ever watched other sports, but who, in your opinion, is the greatest sportsman ever? I haven't, mate. I haven't really watched any other sports. I don't really do other sports. I am utterly dedicated to football. I occasionally watch, like, maybe a bit of rugby because of where I come from. I'm from St Helens, so it's a rugby town. So I don't mind watching a bit of rugby. But generally speaking, I'm maybe a bit of boxing as well. Oh, Keith Smith! I'm telling you, this lad is going to be an absolute worldie one day. He's just whipped one just over the bar. He's the only bright thing about AZ Alkmaar today. This kid is Kevin De Bruyne reborn, I'm telling you. He'd be dirt cheap as well. He's still only 19. We watched him in the under-19s championships over the summer. He was unbelievable, and he's there. He's prime for someone to come and take him to the Premier League. He's quality, the lad. Delta Force, I've just remembered Barnes and Rush played for Newcastle. We gave you Isak, we get Barnes and Rush on the Zimmer frames. Hey, Rush went on to play for... Rush played for Newcastle as Kenny Dalglish's spies. That's why he went there. They went in because Kenny Dalglish needed a couple of players in the changing room that he trusted. That's all it was. It wasn't anything like major. And then Ian Rush went on to play for Leeds as well, didn't he? Eagle-eyed Nate says, Sarr is to Liverpool what Mane was to us. An infernal pain in the backside that you have to rate as a player, but you wish he'd leave you alone. Still can't forgive that 7-0 at Selhurst Park. Yeah, Sarr's an absolute quality player. He did it with us at Watford as well. Before he even joined you, he always scored against us at Watford. I think he got 2 at Watford against us. Yeah, I'm pretty sure he's a very good player. He is a very good player. Very underrated, Ismaila Sarr. Palace, claim for a penalty. I don't think you're going to get that one. Nah, you're not getting a pen for that. And Timbo, greatest sportsman is either Muhammad Ali, Michael Jordan, or Messi. I don't know. It's difficult to say because I haven't really got an interest in any of those sports apart from obviously football. And how can you say that Messi is the greatest sportsman of all time when, I don't know, he's only done it. He's never done it on a cold and wet and windy day at Stoke. Ismaila Sarr's just been booked there for descent, I'm guessing, not for diving. Lisha, ever watched Michael Jordan? I did watch a little bit of Michael Jordan, but only like the tail end of his career. And you could apply the same to like LeBron James and because I have actually, to be fair, that is probably one of the only American sports that I have watched is the NBA. I have no interest at all in the NFL. Don't watch cricket. Don't watch golf. So I can't talk about Tiger Woods. Boxing, I'm like few and far between on. And boxing, there's been loads of great world champions, haven't there? So, I mean, I know Muhammad Ali, they all sort of talk about, but plenty of people of that era who say Muhammad Ali wasn't the best boxer. There's plenty of other boxers who they consider to be better. You know, even going back to like your Rocky Marcianos and people like that. So, I don't know. It's difficult to say. Everyone's got an opinion, haven't they, ultimately? For me, I guess I haven't really got an answer for that because I only watch one sport. Timbo, the argument for Messi is he's the greatest of all time in the greatest sport of all time, but the hardest sport is probably boxing. Who's held the world championship for the longest time then? Oh, AZ have scored. Who's got it? Who's got it? It's a surprise one. AZ Alkmaar have pulled one back. And they're looking at Henderson here. Oh, 2-1. It's the captain as well. Let's get the score up. 1 second. Is this one? It looked like it might have been a little bit tight, actually, this one. Could he be onside? Oh, yeah, no, he's okay. He's all right. Thought it was a bit further forward. It's a great little pullback. Poor clearance. And it comes back, and it's a great finish. Bit of a deflection. Should Henderson do better there? I might be being harsh. I think he should maybe react a bit better there, you know. I don't know if I'm being harsh. I think he might react better. Roma still winning 2-0 at Ibrox. And Lisha, a golfer could never be the greatest sportsman, in my humble opinion. Hayden Inman, top 5 finish for the Prem. Top 5 finish for the Prem? What, are you asking me who I think will finish in the top 5? Top 5 I think will be the same as last year pretty much, except maybe I think Spurs probably get in at 5th. They're the only ones I can maybe see raid in the top 5. So I'd say it'll be Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Chelsea in some order. Chelsea probably just sneaking into 4th, and then I would say Spurs are going to be 5th. Hacken 0, Strasbourg 2. Eagle-eyed Nate. Ref needs to get in the bin. I'm not sure what the ref did there that was wrong. What was the ref's issue? I don't think he did too much wrong there, mate. I could be wrong. I didn't see any error from the ref. Certainly wasn't offside. All things footy, is it bad that my nan looks like Snoop Dogg? Well, your nan could look like worse, mate. She could look worse. Palace are in, it's 3. What a finish that is. Who is it? It's Sarr again. Honestly, this guy. AZ Alkmaar. Have they got Liverpool shirts underneath their top here? Palace have gone in front again. Well, they've doubled the lead. 3-1. Back to that 2-goal cushion. It was only reduced to 1 for a matter of minutes. And they're back to 3-1. It's a great goal from Ismaila Sarr. Eagle-eyed Nate, I'm talking in general, the ref. Yeah, I was going to say, the decision to book Sarr in the sort of early stages of the second half, I wasn't really too sure on that. Here we go, ball through. It's a great pass from Mateta, and what a run from Sarr. And that's a lovely finish. Just opens his body up, gives the keeper the eyes. Mateta, though, this is why Mateta, for me, is so criminally underrated. And it's Palace have to do everything they can to try and wrap him up in cotton wool, because if he gets injured, their season's over. Mateta is for me. I know you've got Wharton, you've got Sarr, you've got, Pino's very good, Gay's very good, Lacroix. I honestly think Mateta is the driving force in this Palace side. He's incredible. He's absolutely incredible. There's nobody else they've got as well. The drop-off in centre-forward class from Mateta to Nketiah is huge. Timbo, can Sarr stop scoring in midweek and scoring the Prem for my fantasy team, please? On the road FC, mate. I got married today. Wow, congratulations, mate. That's great news. Many happy returns. It's a wonderful day. Best day of your life. Well, second best day of your life. Best day of your life will be when your kid's born. If you choose to have him, I guess. If you choose to be blessed with that particular noisy mess. But yeah, the day my daughter was born is the best day of my life. The second best day is the day I got married to my wife. Absolutely unbelievable. So congratulations, mate. It's a wonderful day. Three-star Reds, VAR check at Villa Park. Possible penalty for Villa. Christian Gonzalez, how's Lerma and Munoz playing? Well, Munoz, the ball deflected up off him for AZ Alkmaar's goal. I don't think there was anything he could really do about it. He was just trying to get a block on it. Lerma, he's been alright. Lerma's been okay. I would say Munoz has been the better of the two, but they've both just been alright. It's probably not been their best games, either of them. But thank you for coming on, Christian Gonzalez. Good to see you. And Timbo, your wife and kids aren't watching, mate. It's okay to say Istanbul was the best day of your life. Shh, don't tell him. Just in case she rewatches it back. It's 2-0. Daniel Marlin's just scored for Villa. 2-0 to the Villa. And Shell, come on, Villa 2-0. Delta Force, do you think VAR is good for the game or not? I think it's bad. I would happily get rid of VAR tomorrow. I think the only reason that it's in is because it gives a level of accountability for some owners. Like, owners don't want to spend hundreds of millions on transfer fees and whatever trying to grow a team, and it's an investment on their part, isn't it? You know, you look at Liverpool, for example, FSG, John Henry has invested loads of money in Liverpool. He bought us for like 500 million and we're now worth 5 billion or something stupid like that. So he's got all this, he's got this investment back, and you would have to say that although Liverpool have, they're in again here, Palace. This should be 4. Mateta's in, it should be 4. Oh, he's dragged it wide. Just as I've given him loads of praise, it's shocking from Mateta. You've got to get that on target at least. Oh no! It was a really good move from Palace again, and I think that was Lerma actually who puts the pass through to him. He's got Pino in the middle. Could he find him? Nah, he's got to just hit the target there. Eagle-eyed Nate says, so far best day of my life was 17th of May 2025 FA Cup final. I can imagine that. Good lad, mate. I like that. Do you know what? I think for Liverpool, Istanbul probably was up there as the best. That's probably the third best, maybe. VAR is literally just cameras. If the refs are still shit, then it will be shit. It's how it's used. It just feels to me like it's the owners going, we're not spending all this money if the guy in the middle of the pitch who could be bribed, by the way, we've seen that in Turkey. We've seen referees putting bets on games and things like that. We don't want to put all of our investment riding on this guy in the middle of the pitch. We want a level of stripping power away from referees, whereas I want to give more power to referees personally. I would give referees far more power and put loads more investment into training better referees and maybe even bring in foreign referees. But what I certainly would not do is VAR. I don't agree with it. I don't like it. Or certainly not this iteration of it. Maybe it could be better in other ways. Christian Gonzalez, how do you feel seeing Diaz doing well at Bayern, mate? Was it a mistake or good business? We'd have loved to keep him. I like Luis Diaz a lot. He's a wonderful player. He's one of the best left wingers I've seen for Liverpool. I loved him a lot. However, and I still love him. He's great. He's a fabulous player. But I think it was necessary. I think it was one of them. It was like the right time for both us and for him. So he wanted a big contract, and honestly, he deserved a big contract. We were still paying him like £70,000 a week, which sounds awful, doesn't it? Like we would all love 70 grand a week. That'd be amazing. But Luis Diaz, who had won a Premier League with us, he'd been to Champions League finals with us, he'd won pretty much everything. He'd done great with Liverpool, and he was still getting paid the money that we had paid Porto when we signed him from Porto. We give him a big pay increase, and he was still sat on 70 grand a week. He was on less. Luis Diaz was on less than Kostas Tsimikas was for Liverpool. Our backup left back was on more money than Luis Diaz. And I can understand that he was looking at it and going, well, I deserve better. I deserve more. And he eventually went to Bayern Munich and said, I mean, according to what the allegations is that he wanted to stay at Liverpool, and he said, I want a new contract, and Liverpool said, well, we're not giving you a new contract, you've got 2 years left on that, and we'll happily keep you on 70 grand a week until you're 30, and then you can go on a free. So unless Bayern or someone else give us a big offer, I think Barcelona were linked too, unless we get a big offer, then you're not going anywhere. So we got 80 million or whatever it was, 70, 80 million for him, which is good, a good deal. It's good money, and he goes to Bayern. He gets a massive pay increase. He's happy. We use that money to go and get Florian Wirtz, who's 22 and a player who can maybe play for Liverpool for the next 7, 8, 9, 10 years, maybe. Who knows? So I think it was a good signing, and it was a good sale as well. Eagle-eyed Nate asking for a friend, have you ever seen Brighton win a cup? I can't say I have, but Brighton are one of my old clients. I like Brighton a lot. Brighton are one of my former clients from my previous life before I started Premier League Dad. Jake Fitzpatrick, when he plays against other teams, he plays rubbish. Blake, any charity done without anonymity is self-serving virtue signalling. It's very true. Yeah, there's no selfless good deed but you know what? I agree, because when you see people on LinkedIn and you see them like pictures of them giving stuff to like homeless people, and you're like, well, I mean, it's nice you give stuff to homeless people, that's a lovely gesture, but is there any real need to stick a camera in the face? So I get it. I get where you're coming from on that one. Timbo, I do think we underplay the positives of VAR. Like, for example, there will never be an offside goal again. When you think about it, that's mad. Yeah, but but we're also, do you know what? We're also seeing penalties given for things that should never be given as penalties, in my opinion. It feels like we're over-refereeing games. Like, there is no way, right, if you think about that Brentford, and I know you're going to say, oh, Key, why are you bringing up Liverpool again? But if you think back to that Brentford penalty, right? Virgil van Dijk literally brushes the bottom of that player's foot, and it's like literally just on the outside of the line. It's not a chance. It's not anything. And that got given as a penalty, and that basically ended the game as a contest. You know, if not for that being given as a penalty, Liverpool could get a point. That point could be decisive in terms of the title at the end of the season. I don't like that. And we're still getting errors with VAR, aren't we? There's still, you know, the Luis Diaz goal. We talked about Luis Diaz. Luis Diaz's goal against Spurs. Perfect example of VAR going wrong. They said it was a goal, but it didn't get given as a goal. And then you see the McAllister one where, you know, Manchester City, Doku stood in McAllister in his chest in the penalty area. Not a penalty. It's crazy. It's absolutely crazy. Brian says, Vamos Crystal Palace and Ollie Marley Watford v Bristol City tomorrow. Yes, we are doing the Championship tomorrow, so make sure you've liked, make sure you've followed, make sure you've subbed and shared and all that good stuff. Because I'm live tomorrow for the Championship, and then on Saturday I am live for Tottenham against Man United, Sunderland against Arsenal, Chelsea against Wolves. I am debating maybe doing Everton and Fulham as well, so we could have 4 watch-alongs on Saturday. It's a long. That is a lot of talking. It's a long day for me to be studying, so I don't know yet. I'll see how I feel when I wake up. I might schedule a little brief sort of 3 p.m. Everton Fulham on Saturday at 3 o'clock. What are we saying? Mad Pup, OFTY, almost a third for Roma off the crossbar. Came down and cleared off the line by Connor Barron. Delta Force, there was talk a few years ago of having a sin bin, like in hockey, where you can send a player off for 10 minutes and then they come back on. That'd be good, wouldn't it, in football? I'd take that. Maybe we bring out like an orange card, where it's not because I want referees to prioritise keeping 11 players on the pitch. We don't want to see 10 v 11. If there's a sending off, it's because of a necessity factor, either repeated fouling or a really bad foul. I'd like to see more amber cards where a player maybe gets put in a sin bin for 10 minutes. I could deal with that, and that would actually work, wouldn't it? Imagine you get 10 minutes, because managers would then have to respond differently, wouldn't they? Imagine it would be like a, you know, let's say Grimsby against United. Imagine if United got an amber card, an orange card, and they lost a player for 10 minutes. Grimsby would be like, right, for 10 minutes, we're just going to have a go at him. We're going to absolutely smash him. And they'd have still gone through. So, Jake the YouTuber, who do you think is going to win the Champions League? Ooh. At this point, I've got a horrible feeling about Manchester City. Yeah, I've got a feeling about Manchester City. I think Erling Haaland is gonna tell in the big games this season, and I don't know why. I think City are probably not going to be the team that we think they are in the league, but they end up doing something special in Europe, and maybe they get a Champions League this year. Chelsea v Fulham wasn't a penny. They're outrageous. Exactly, yeah. And Timbo, that's true, but that's just rubbish refs. I don't think it's the camera's fault. And Shell, you lovely man, I'll be here 3 p.m. Saturday. Love it. Eagle-eyed Nate, tell me in 2010, just after exiting administration, that I'd see Palace win the FA Cup and play in Europe at Selhurst Park. I'd call you mad. One of my best audio books that I've listened to is Warnock talking about his time at Crystal Palace. I love that. And the whole, you know, Butterfield coming on and getting a hat-trick and stuff like that. I love that time. Admittedly, this is better for Palace. And I love Oliver Glasner's team as well. Joe, are you doing Spurs v United? I am, mate, yes. And Nottingham Forest are going to get top 4 this season. No chance. Timbo, what was your previous life? Well, I had my own business, but I was a sales director. And then I had my own business doing like advertising and stuff like that, and I worked with Brighton quite closely. So yeah, Brighton were one of my big clients, one of my main clients. Blake says Pep said he loves Warnock. He was great. Yeah, I like Neil Warnock a lot. Joe, finally we haven't had a Prem 12:30 in a while, and I'm watching the last 20 of the Rayo Vallecano match. Yeah, 12:30 we'll be doing Spurs v United for sure. Eagle-eyed Nate, Warnock's first spell at Palace was eventful. We won't talk about his second spell. Yeah, I liked him a lot as a manager. His autobiography is very much the style of management that I like. I like that sort of old school. But he's an underrated manager, Warnock, I think. Timbo, so basically you're the reason for Brighton's rapid rise. Good to know. Well, I will say this. It was my advertising that helped them find a lot of their scouts. No, and that's not a joke. That is not a joke. I absolutely promise you. I helped Brighton source some of their scouts. So technically, I mean, you could say I'm basically responsible for Moise Caicedo and Mark Cucurella. But then also responsible for, Jorginho Rutter. So yeah, whatever way you want to look at it. Will, he used to get so angry so quickly. There's so many great Warnock memes though, haven't you? Have you seen all the Warnock shot? Hey, have a fucking word with him then, ref. We're in London, aren't we? That's what it is. We're in London. I love it. I love all of them. And then there's that one where he's like staring at the camera like that when he was a Cardiff manager. Shell, don't do 4 games on Saturday if it'll make you poorly. Do you know what it is, Shell? It's not necessarily the actual Saturday. The Saturday I'll be fine, I'll do it and I'll be okay. It's more the Sunday. So what will happen is I'll finish the last game, which is Chelsea, and I'll finish it about 10:30, 11 o'clock. I'll get home, get in bed, and I'll be wide awake because I've spent literally the last 12 hours talking in front of a camera. So you get home and I'm wide awake. I'm trying to get to sleep because I've then got to be up on Sunday to do what's the 2 games on Sunday that we're doing? What's the 2 games on Sunday? There's definitely Liverpool City at 4:30. Is it Brentford Newcastle? I think it's Brentford Newcastle we were going to do. Timbo, thank you for Cucurella and Caicedo, mate. You've done Chelsea a great service. And Puck Classic Football Managers are a lost breed. 4-4-2. Yes. 3-star Reds, enjoy it, Nate. Those seasons have never happened very often. And from Scunthorpe at home to RZ at home, and still never see Millwall in the Prem. Life is good. Well, I wouldn't be so sure about that, Nate, because I'm telling you, Millwall, apart from the... I mean, maybe I'm wrong. I don't want to see Millwall in the Prem either. But up until them getting battered by Birmingham the other night, I really thought they might be an outside chance for the playoffs, And they still could be. Their away form's not brilliant, but the home form is different gravy, isn't it? Bradders, will you be live Sunday for Liverpool City as well? I am, mate, yes. I am 100% going to be live for Liverpool City. Will, how many Spanish teams are based in Madrid? I mean, I know it's the capital, but there's at least 4 or 5. Yeah, I was going to say you've got Real, you've got Atleti, you've got Rayo Vallecano, Getafe, Leganés, I think, are not too far away from Madrid. Or they might even still be in Madrid, I think. I don't know, actually. Let me have a look. I think there's definitely them 5. I'm pretty sure Getafe and Leganés are. Rayo Vallecano we know, but I'm not sure if there's any more, maybe lower down. Probably is. Timbo, first v second in the Championship this weekend. Yes. Some big old games in the Championship this weekend. I would have liked to do maybe one of them. Delta Force, I think refs have to have a review on how they've performed at the end of the season. Shell, come on, City. Oh, hey. Come on, Fulham on Saturday. Eagle-eyed Nate, Millwall at the Council Flat, the London Stadium. And Timbo Slice, that's nothing. How many London teams are there? Oh, Christ. How many London teams are there? within the M25 as well. Let's have a look. There are 17 professional football teams based in London. 17. Shall we tell you them? Arsenal, Brentford, Chelsea, Palace, Fulham, Tottenham and West Ham are the Premier League teams. You've got 7 in the Premier League. And then you've got Charlton, Millwall, QPR in the Championship. AFC Wimbledon, Leyton Orient in League 1. And then Barnet and Bromley in League 2. And if you go down to the National League, you've also got Sutton United, Dagenham and Redbridge, and Wellston. The Wellston Raider. If you want Sam, I'll give it ya. People could say the same about London having loads of teams too. There you go. United forever. High key. Why is there a mad police response at Villa Park? 700 police officers at Villa. It probably because of the fact that it's Maccabi, and they are a team that is known for having a following of fans that have been violent in recent games. You know, they had a recent game away to Amsterdam, to Ajax in Amsterdam, and there was issues. Now I know the fans haven't been allowed to travel, but that doesn't necessarily mean that no fans have travelled. So there could be issues, there could be protests. I believe there have been protests. I have no idea. And Bradders, it's the Palestine protest outside of Villa Park. Ah, right, okay. I wasn't aware of the nature of them anyway. Aman, opinions on a non-European team playing in Europe? I haven't got any opinions on it. If the powers that be decide they're in Europe, then I guess they're in Europe. They're just a football team. It's just a football team. Two teams playing a game of football. It's no more than that. Will forever. Middlesbrough have rejected an approach from Wolves for Wolves to speak to Rob Edwards. And Aman says, no, it's just unfair to be honest on some teams on who can't qualify though. Again, to each their own. They say that it's a route that's been that way for many, many years, hasn't it, ultimately? A qualifying route. And, Maccabi Tel Aviv, Maccabi Haifa have been involved in Champions League and Europa League games and UEFA Cup games and whatever for decades. 3-star Red says, 100% Mad Pup, our last manager was a 4-4-2 expert. 4 up the pitch, 4 foot backtracking and managing to get the fucking ball 2 foot out the penalty area every so often. Timbo, the irony of Tommy Robinson saying he'll support Tel Aviv v Villa when his whole thing is Britain first. Honestly, we could be here all night. Going through all that. Because listen, all I'll say for my part in that, there are far more intelligent people than you or I that have not been able to configure that whole situation out for 70 odd years. So I don't imagine you and I are going to do it on a live right now. It's the grim reality of it, I guess. Will forever. I remember Florian Lejeune, he played for Newcastle a while back. Florian Lejeune scored 2 at Goodison in the 96th minute, I believe, and got a draw. Do you remember that? Everton were 2-0 up against Newcastle at Goodison. And I think Florian Lejeune scored off one corner in the 95th, and then he scored off another corner in the 96th. It was brilliant. I love that. Everton fans went into meltdown. Pope got a wee soft spot for Leyton Orient. Used to use them for Road to Glory saves. Road to Glory? What are Road to Glory saves? Humour me. Braga 3, Genk 4. And Joe, I remember that. It was great. And the second one was like an overhead kick, wasn't it? It was right at the Gladys Street. Shell, here we go. It was a good... Come on, Shell, you defo remember that one, don't you? We're reminiscing about great games. Moish Keane scored. Did he? Christ, that's probably one of... That's a collector's item, that, isn't it? Moish Keane scoring for Everton. He only cost 30 million. He's nearly as good value as Tierno Barry at this point, isn't he? the mad thing is that Moise Kean is actually a very good centre forward now. He would probably be amongst the best in the Premier League, in my opinion, if he came back in. Delta Force, I think it's stressful being a football fan. Newcastle have aged me 10 years. Yeah, I mean that's probably the case with most football teams, mate. To be honest with you, it's the up and down nature of football. From like Liverpool have given me some of the best days of my life, and we've not had to lose too many like heartbreaking that I can remember anyway. Like there's not been too many. Like I remember, if we go right back, I remember Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scoring in the last minute against us for United in the FA Cup at Old Trafford, the year they won the treble. We were battering them that game, and they scored 2 in the last 2 minutes, basically. Ole Gunnar Solskjaer scored the winner. That was awful. Gerrard's slip, that was awful. John Arne Riise against Chelsea in the Champions League, diving own goal header in the Kop. I was right in front of it. It was horrible, that. Again, battered Chelsea in the Champions League semi-final, and John Arne Riise diving headers it into his own net. So I've not had to have too many bad nights with Liverpool. The way that Liverpool stress you out and age you is that we're 0-0 with teams for a very long time in games we have to win, and then we score in like the 95th minute. We've got more late goals than any other team in the history of the Prem. And that's what ages you with Liverpool, is this constant like, ooh, and then like you celebrate like mad at the end. Whereas we've not had too many of the ones where it's like a proper choker and you just want to die at the end of the game. Joe, I feel sorry for Barry, to be fair. Why? Why do you feel sorry for Tierno Barry? I think he's in with the wrong manager at this moment. I do think there's a player in there with him. Will Key, you're watching a boring game. Vallecano game's gone to 2-2. Yeah, I've just seen it pop up. Timbo, what's the worst ever Liverpool 11? Oh, Gerrard's own goal v Chelsea in the League Cup final. My dad was there for that as well. Yeah. I went to the Community Shield the year after. I didn't go to the League Cup final. But yeah, that was a bad one as well. Worst ever Liverpool 11. I would go Charles Itangi in goal. Even though... No, it'd have to be Loris Karius. Charles Itangi didn't really play for Liverpool, but he laughed at the Hillsborough Memorial. So whenever people talk about Liverpool's worst ever goalkeepers, Charles Itangi's going to be it. But he never really played for us, so I can't really call him, in terms of his ability. He was crap, but, that's not the reason he's the worst keeper. Karius would have to be our worst keeper for what happened. So I'd say Karius. I would say... Konchesky left back. Philip Deggan right back. Centre backs. We've had some bad ones. Jordan, not going to lie, fuming about these subs, and Delta Force when Newcastle lost a 12-point lead. Yeah, that was bad as well. Why are you fuming about the subs, Jordan? What's going on with the subs? Yeah, Karius was bad. Philip Deggan, right back. Left back, Konchesky. Centre backs, I would have... we had some bad ones. Probably Pellegrino. Pellegrino was bad, and... maybe Thiago Ilori, because we paid a lot of money for him. He was about 8 million quid, or Coates. Coates actually ended up being a good centre-back elsewhere in Europe. But Thiago Ilori was a bad one. 8 million quid, it just didn't work out for him. And then it would be Diouf, probably Elhadj Diouf on the right. He's probably our worst ever. Aquilani in midfield. Markovic on the left. Poulsen in midfield. So our two midfielders would be Aquilani and Poulsen. Markovic and Diouf on the wings. Who did I say centre-backs? Degan on the right, Konchesky on the left. Pellegrino. Do you know what? Maybe Cavani, actually. Bjorn Tor Cavani was a bad centre-back. Remember him having an absolute nightmare in the derby. So I'd probably put him in instead of Ilori. I'd probably go Pellegrino and Cavani. I'd have Degan, Konchesky, Karius, midfield, Poulsen, Aquilani, Markovic and Diouf on the wings, and the two strikers. Balotelli. Do you know what? Actually, I'm not gonna put Aquilani in there because Aquilani was a really good player. He just again always injured. Feels wrong putting Aquilani in there. I'd put Giao. Salif Giao was bad. I put Giao and Poulsen. There you go. There's me two. Giao and Poulsen, and centre forward Balotelli and Jovanovic. Milan Jovanovic. Paid him a fortune. He was crap. Timbo, what about Alberto Moreno? He was horrific. Alberto Moreno wasn't horrific. Alberto Moreno was brilliant. He was brilliant, Moreno. Remember the goal he scored for us pretty much on his debut against Spurs at White Hart Lane? Honestly, when I saw that, I was like, oh my God, we have literally signed the best left-back ever. He couldn't defend. He literally cost us a European Cup final against Sevilla. In the UEFA Cup final, he couldn't defend at all. But he wasn't horrific. He was a very decent left. A bit like Klein. A bit like Nathaniel Klein. He played alright for us for a while. But he was a bit naff. But I wouldn't say he was terrible. Jordan, no need for Wharton or Kamada, and Mateta should have went off considering he's our only fit good striker. Yeah, I agree. Maybe he should have changed some of these players to kind of freshen them up for the weekend. Pete, good for Palace playing in Europe. Happy for them. Solid club. Good to have you, Pete. And Timbo, Stuart Downing. Stuart Downing was pretty poor. Yeah, Stuart Downing wasn't great. 20 million quid for him as well. Joe, get out. Yeah, Alberto Moreno, get out. Man United, get out. Love him. Yeah, he was great. I like Moreno for that. So I can't really put Moreno in an all-time worst. But Stuart Downing would possibly be on the bench. Aquilani was a good player. He was just always injured. You can't really have that. Jay Spearing's not bad for the level that he got at. He worked his socks off for us. He was just a mediocre championship player. Can't really fault him. He's a bit like Harry Wilson. Harry Wilson played for us, but didn't really cut the mustard with us and ended up going on having a decent career at Fulham and Bournemouth. Pup, Rangers 0, Roma 2. Not good. Jordan, not going to lie, never realised it, but Sarr is such a big-time player, always steps up. And this is Palace's first ever European home win. This is historic. This is absolutely historic. You're witnessing history tonight. In Palace's entire history, they've never won a game of European football at home at Selhurst Park. So, a little slice of history has happened tonight. Rapid Vienna have been beaten by Univ Craiova. That's killed me on a load of bets as well tonight. Timbo, Charlie Adam was poor for you. Joe Cole too. Yeah, see, I would probably be, maybe not Charlie Adam, but Joe Cole and Andrei Voronin I would put in because I detested them. I absolutely detested Joe Cole and Voronin. They would make the bench. Even though Joe Cole was obviously a very good player away from Liverpool, and Andrei Voronin was a pretty capable player away from Liverpool as well. Played really well for Leverkusen and Ukraine and scored a couple of big goals as well. But he was dreadful for us. Thankfully, there's not too many in there that are like really bad and really big signings. Like when I look at Manchester United and I think about like Jadon Sancho, huge cost, absolutely dreadful player. And you can name about 5 or 6 of them with United, can't you? You can't really do that with Liverpool. All the players I've just named there were all pretty cheap. They were all pretty low cost. Like the only one that was mega expensive was Lazar Markovic. Lazar Markovic was 20 million quid, and I have no idea who did that scouting. I don't know, but 20 million quid was a lot of money back then, and we paid it for a winger who, honestly, one of the worst players I've seen. Jordan says, hurt so much that Ward, Zaha, Balassi, Delaney, Jedinak and Speroni never got to experience it with us. Just get Zaha back in on loan. He's still playing, isn't he? Timbo, Joe Cole is such a likeable guy. How could you despise him, although he was rubbish for you, to be fair? And do you know why I despise him? Because he came in, and one of the first things he said was, he did an interview just after he left. Shell, good to see you. Take it easy. Lots of love. Hopefully see you on Saturday, or maybe tomorrow if you're around for Watford. But definitely see you on Saturday for the Everton-Fulham game. Yeah, so Joe Cole, he came into Liverpool and he ended up doing an interview not long after he'd left, where he said, when I got to the club, I did like an interview where I was like holding the shirt up and stuff, and they were asking me loads of questions like, how do you feel about joining, one of the biggest clubs in the world? And he said, I just looked at him like, I don't think you are one of the biggest clubs in the world, but I obviously had to give this like forced answer. And it just spoke to a lot of the ego that the guy had. Even when Liverpool were at Joe Cole's level, even then, Liverpool was still one of the biggest clubs in the world. We weren't fantastic. We were a pretty shell of ourselves, former selves, but we're still a very, very big club. So for Joe Cole to come in and say, I don't feel like I'm at a big club, but I was forced to say that I was. What a divvy. Delta, sorry, 3-star Reds. Thanks, Key. See you later, mate. No worries, man. And Jordan, as far as I know, Balassi is still playing too. Is he really? No, Yannick Balassi. I thought he got broken when he was at Everton and didn't really play again. Oh, he is. He's in Brazil. Yannick Balassi is 36 years of age and he's still playing in Cruzeiro in Brazil. He's got 3 goals this season. He's on fire, the lad. He's got 3 goals in the Brazilian league. In fact, he's been in Brazil since last year. He was at Cruzeiro first, and then he's moved to Cruzeiro. Wow. Look at that. Timbo, have a good night, sir. Maybe see you for us smashing Wolves on Saturday. Yeah, hopefully so, mate. Take it easy. Try and stick on this one if you can. I mean, if you go on TikTok, it's cool, but if you can, appreciate it. Have a nice night anyway. Take it easy. This one is very nearly done. Probably going to finish 3-1. I can't see there being any more. Will forever. Alvaro Garcia does it for Vallecano. If you haven't already, please do. Help a brother out. Consider, if you will, clicking like, clicking share, clicking subscribe, comment, whatever, all that good stuff. It massively helps people just to tell YouTube, look, this guy's alright. He does good watch-alongs. He watches good games of football. Sometimes. I watched Graz against Forest before, so I can't really say that. But he watches lots of football. And if you like watch-alongs and you like different games and not just, the big games, I give you more than anyone else. So it's good to have this community of people watching who just enjoy watching games of football. Like me. Clarkey, what's your prediction for Tottenham and Man United? I think 2-1 Tottenham. Yeah, Man United weren't great against Forest, and I expect Tottenham to bounce back. I think they were better recently. Right, it's 3-1 to Palace. There you go. History in the making. Crystal Palace's first ever European win at Selhurst Park. Massive result, and it gets them back on the winning track in Europe after the defeat last week to AEK Larnaca, who AEK Larnaca also beat AZ Alkmaar quite comfortably, 4-0 funnily enough. So Alkmaar still not quite there. They need to get the finger out if they're going to make the next round of the Conference League. But Palace back in gear now. That's 2 wins out of 3, and firmly in the top half of the table for the Conference League anyway. Right, that is me done. I will be back tomorrow night for Watford against Bristol City. Hopefully you'll join me. Take it easy. Have a lovely, lovely night. Enjoy your Thursday. And lots of love. Enjoy life. Hope your family's well. Take it easy.